Am I the a-hole for telling my dad to talk to his therapist instead of questioning my relationship with his wife? My dad's been in therapy for the last 2 years. He mentioned it to me twice before. Once when he started going. He said he had some past difficulties to work through and just wanted the family to know. The second time he mentioned it was recently. He had brought up how he had some things to work through in therapy regarding my mom's death, his remarrying, and how people saw him remarrying. The second time he brought it up, he was looking for a conversation more than he had been previously. So we talked about it a little. He admitted he'd felt judged for remarrying 3 years later from some, and that others felt he waited too long because I never called his second wife my mom, and I never let her in as a parent. I had asked if people really brought that up, and he avoided the question. Then he told me it always confused him how I could be 10 years old and getting a stepmom who was warm and loving and open to filling the maternal role for me after I lost my mom at 7 years old, but I never opened up to that. He told me he had tried to reassure me mom would want that for me and that it was okay. He mentioned all the reassurances he gave me over the years that it was okay to love both, which I do BTW, just very differently. One I love as my mom, the other I love more as a friend. He told me he figured the day I became a mom or when my kids started to grow my feelings would change. But he said 3 kids in and almost 5 years of parenting, and he can see that I still don't hold her in the maternal space. He said it confuses him, annoys him, and he wanted to know why. He said it will always confuse him and make him question if he failed me. I told him he didn't fail me, but I was happy to hold the space for mom being my only mom, and I told him I still accepted Beth, his wife, but she would always seem more like a friend to me than a mom or maternal figure. I told him I didn't need her to be more than that. He said it couldn't be true. It always bothered him. It made him feel awful sometimes because it always seemed like Beth was othered when it came to us. She's his second wife, and only because his first wife died, but she's not even my second mom. She's just Beth. He said that's an awful position to put her in. He said he felt like I shouldn't feel this way, and he wasn't going to rest until he got me to give him better answers. He said this would be a conversation we would need to have multiple times. I told him I wasn't going to explain myself to him like that. He told me he has to because my relationship with Beth bothers him. He said he can't speak about this to his therapist either, so he's taking other areas of therapy and he'll make me answer him. I told him he needed to talk to his therapist and not me, and I won't have this back and forth with him. He told me to stop being dismissive, that he doesn't like how I handle my relationship with Beth. I asked him why he could judge me for that when he was upset enough about being judged for when and why he remarried. I asked how he couldn't see we were individuals and going to have different experiences when he remarried. I asked him if he'd like me questioning him about remarrying, and he said it was different because I was a child at the time while he was an adult, and that he's also my parent, and then he added in a very snarky, apparently the only one you have, because you wouldn't accept a third parent. Dad tried to bring it up again, and I responded that my suggestion remained the same. He told me I was wrong for that suggestion, and I need to be open to talking instead of throwing his therapist in his face. Am I the a-hole?